Alright, today we are going to talk about section 5.3 from Algebra 2, which is adding and subtracting polynomials. First thing we should talk about is, well, what is a polynomial? The definition of a polynomial is a monomial or a sum of monomials. Really what that means is each term is a monomial. Each term is called a monomial that you're adding or subtracting in a polynomial. Next thing we need to look at is, okay, well, what does it mean to be like terms? Remember, we already discussed this. Like terms are the same. They're the same monomial. The variables are the same. So really, if we look at this, when we're putting monomials together, we can put our 5x and our 3x together. We could also put our minus 1x together. So really, we'll do 3 plus 5 minus 1. 3 plus 5 is 8, minus 1 is 7. So this is simply going to be 7x. Now we can look and do the same thing for this next piece, but we have to find our like terms, see how this variable is y, and this variable is y, and this variable is y. We can combine those like terms, but since this is an x, we cannot put that together. So really we can do 4 plus 5 and then minus 1. Well, 4 plus 5 is 9, minus 1 is 8, so that's going to equal 8y, and since I can't do anything with that x, it's going to be minus 4x. Now things are going to get a little bit trickier because we have the squared, and we did already talk about this, but remember, when we have the variables, the exponents have to be the same as well. So we have 3x squared and we have 4x squared, but again, we have 7x cubed. That means we can't put the 7x cubed with the other two, but we can combine this, the 3x squared and the 4x squared to get us 7x squared plus, now this 7x cubed comes over here. We cannot combine those. Do not put those together because it doesn't work. All right, adding monomials, or polynomials, sorry, is pretty basic, and just all you're going to do is you're going to combine like terms. There's two ways that people generally do this, and that's either horizontally or vertically. First, I'm going to show you guys horizontally. Now, the thing to make sure when you're doing it horizontally is to put parentheses. I always like to put parentheses after my second polynomial, and I'm going to do that adding. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to distribute this adding through, and if you notice, nothing's going to change. So when we're adding this, it just really becomes 4x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x plus 10 minus 5x cubed minus 2x squared minus 4x minus 4. Now some people are asking, can we just skip that step and put it in there? Absolutely. I mean, if you can see that, that's a-okay with me. Now we're going to combine our like terms. So I'm going to look for all other x cubes. Well, if you look at, we only have this other x cubed over here. So I'm going to combine those two pieces. 4x cubed minus 5x cubed, well, that's negative 1x cubed. And then I'm going to look at, okay, we have 4x squared and we have negative 2x squared. So I'm going to combine those two and we'll get positive 2x squared. Now I'm going to look at my negative 3x, and I have negative 4x. We combine those, we get negative 7x. And then I have positive 10x, or sorry, positive 10 and negative 4, which is going to give me positive 6. That's how you combine those. Horizontally, you just go left to right. The other way that some people do it is they do it vertically. Now I'm going to do the same exact problem, but I'm going to do it vertically so you can see. Get these a little bit bigger so you can see them. And again, I'm going to put a parentheses around it. This time I'm not going to change it just because I'm just going to know that I'm going to add each piece. Now when we have those lined up, all we have to do is vertically add those up. So 4x cubed minus 5x cubed is negative x cubed. We look at these two together. 4x squared minus 2x squared is positive 2x squared. We look at these two together, which would be negative 7x. And these two together, which would be positive 6. If you notice, we got the same thing. Some people like to do it vertically, some people like to do it horizontally. You choose which way you like and do it that way. Now things are going to get a little bit different because we're going to subtract the polynomials. So again, you can do it two different ways, horizontally or vertically. This is where the parentheses are really going to come into play to make sure you guys use your parentheses. So I'm going to pull these over first and I'm going to do horizontally. But first, remember, I need to put my parentheses and I'm subtracting that whole piece, which means I need to distribute that negative through to each and every single piece over there. My first polynomial has nothing changed, so that's going to be the same. And then my second polynomial, I'm going to make all of them opposite. So it's going to become plus 5x cubed plus 2x cubed plus 4x plus 4. Now again, we're going to combine each of our like terms together. So I'm going to put my 4x cubed with my 5x cubed, and I'm going to add those because they're both positive, which is going to become 9x cubed. Then I'm going to do my 4x, I forgot my squared on that. 4x squared, I'm going to put that with my 2x squared, so we're going to get a positive 6x squared. Then we have negative 3x with positive 4x, which is going to make positive 1x. And then we have positive 10x with our positive 4, which is going to be positive 14. Now make sure you put your parentheses around that second polynomial to get every single one of those to become the opposite. Now we can go and do the opposite, or the vertical version of this, just like we did before. So I'm going to pull this one over, and I'm going to pull this one over, and I'm going to make it, we're going to subtract, so we're going to subtract that whole thing. Now we need to remember that everything needs to be the opposites. So I'm going to change this to plus, 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 and then this is also going to become plus. So now we have 9x cubed plus 6x squared plus 1x plus 14. Same exact thing, just one's vertical and one's horizontal. Doesn't matter which way you guys do it, either way will work. Alright, I want you guys to add and subtract both of these polynomials. So the first one and the second one there, I want you to add and subtract them both. I'll put the answers up here in a second. Alright, here are the answers I got. Check yours, see how you did. Alright, now we're going to talk about multiplying polynomials. There again are two ways you can multiply polynomials, vertically and horizontally. So, when you're multiplying polynomials, you need to make sure that you multiply each piece times each other piece of the other polynomial. So what I mean by that is, I'm going to take this first polynomial and I'm going to multiply it horizontally by this polynomial. Now this is where things can get a little bit tricky because you need to make sure you multiply every single piece from this first polynomial, 3x minus 2x plus 4, times the second polynomial, x plus 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 3x and I'm going to put it outside of that. So I'm going to put it 3x squared times x plus 3. Then I'm going to take that second piece of the polynomial, that second piece, and I'm going to multiply that by the whole x plus 3. Then I'm going to take my last piece here, the 4, and I'm going to multiply it by the whole thing. So plus 4 times x plus 3. Now I'm going to multiply through to each piece here. So what I mean by that is I'm going to take this and multiply through to each piece. So 3x cubed plus 3x squared minus 2x squared minus 6x plus 4x plus 12. Now we combine all of our like terms, so we get 3x cubed minus plus x squared minus 2x plus 12. Now that's how you would do it horizontally, and you can skip some steps in there. Some people can do that when they get a good practice at it. I personally didn't want to do it at this one. Now let's do vertically. Actually, the way I'm going to do it is box method, so using the box method. So I'm going to do this equation times this equation. Now what I mean by a box method is I'm going to make a box that multiplies each piece. So if you notice, I have 3 pieces on this one. So if I made my box like so, for that first polynomial, I need 3 spaces for it. And since I have 2 terms in my second one, I need 2 spaces for that second piece. So I'm going to put the x plus 4 on the side, and I'm going to put x squared plus 4x and minus 5 up on the top. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this piece times that piece. So x squared times x is going to be x cubed. Really, I'm finding the area of each of these boxes. So now I'm going to multiply 4 times x squared, which is going to get me 4x squared. Now I'm going to multiply x times 4x, which is going to get me 4x squared. And then I'm going to keep going. So 4 times 4x is going to be 16x. X times negative 5 is negative 5x. And 4 times negative 5 is negative 20. Now all I have to do in here is combine my like terms. And if you notice, my like terms are, and I forgot my squared on that one, are diagonal to each other. The x cubed and the negative 20 don't have any like terms, so they're just going to stay what they are right there. So we're going to end up with x cubed. Now 4x squared plus 4x squared is going to be plus 8x squared. 6x minus 5x is going to be positive 1x, and then minus 20. Now either way you guys want to do this will work fine. The box method might take a little bit longer, but it works pretty efficiently as well. So I'm going to try a couple more here for examples for you. Now when we do a 3 by 3 here, you guys can see we have three polynomials. We have x minus 1 times x minus 2 times x plus 3. But really what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply two of them first, then I'm going to bring the third one in. So first I'm going to multiply x minus 1, x minus 2. And first time I'm going to do this, I'm going to use the horizontal way. So I'm going to multiply x times x, which is x squared, x times negative 2, which is negative 2x. Then I'm going to multiply my negative 1 times x, which is negative 1x, and my negative 1 times negative 2, which is positive 2. Now all I have to do there is combine my like terms, so I get x squared minus 3x plus 2. I'm going to put that in parentheses, and I'm going to bring down my third piece. Now this one, it's kind of going to get harder to expand this out using the horizontal method, so I'm personally going to use the box method for the second piece. So we need to have 2 for the x plus 3, and we need 3 for the x squared minus 3x plus 2. So I'm going to put those pieces in. X squared minus 3x plus 2. Then on the side, I'm going to put x plus 3. Then we just multiply each piece through. X times x squared is x cubed. X squared times 3x is 3x squared. X times negative 3x is negative 3x squared. 3 times negative x is negative 9x. X times 2 is 2x, and 3 times 6 is 3 times 2 is 6. Jumping ahead of myself there. Now all we have to do is combine our like terms there. So combine each of our like terms, and again that's going to be the horizontal pieces there, and we'll get x cubed. Well, the 3x squared and the negative 3x squared cancel out. The negative 9x plus 2x is going to equal negative 7x, then the 6 plus 6. And there's my answer. Now you could do horizontal there at the end one too as well, but I decided not to. And I'm going to show you guys how to do horizontal again using this next example here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out each piece. Put those bad boys in parentheses, and I'm going to do this one first. Doesn't really matter. You should get the same thing if you do it correctly. So I'm going to multiply 3x squared times 2x squared, which is 6x cubed. And then I'm going to multiply 3x squared times 3, which is going to be positive 9x squared. Now I'm going to go to my next term in order here. My next term in order is a 3x, so I'm going to take the 3x and multiply it by 2x, which is positive 6x. Take the 3x, I'm going to multiply it by the 3, which is positive 9x. Oops, I forgot my squared on the 6x squared. Now our last term here, we're going to take the negative 5 and multiply it to each piece. So negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. And negative 5 times positive 3 is negative 15. Now again, I'm just going to go and combine all of my like terms. So 6x cubed is by itself. These two are going to go together. So we're going to have positive 15x squared. These two are going to go together, so we're going to have negative 1x. And then the negative 15 is all by its lonesome again. Now if you didn't like with the lines or whatnot, you could do like I did on the previous page where I put all the pieces together. If you didn't like the lines, you could also do the box method. All right, that's all I'm going to have for this section. Let me know if you guys have any questions.